Kellie P-B, my YouTube channel, and you seem to be always seeing me at my worst and not made up. This is like 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, and I just couldn't sleep, so I thought I'd just do a vlog. I got a really bad spot right there. It's kind of been bothering me. I don't know what it is. Probably is something that I don't want to even mess with. I'll use my lovely Penzec, and I will use my spot. It'll probably hit it with a spot here in a little bit. I always get a spot there once in a while, so I'll probably use that. And I got it from the Dollar Tree, so it was a Dollar Tree haul. But I just wanted to vlog to you guys and just kind of chit chat. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, I got a fly that's bugging me. I am 47, going to be 48 years old, and now less than a month. I had to fly. There was a fly on my screen, and I could not look at it on me. You know, whether I was videoing and you didn't see it or not, I couldn't stand it. So I apologize for that. But, yes, I'm 47 years old, and I have 3 beautiful children. I have written before, or said before, that I have had 12 miscarriages. My daughter was to be a natural, inevitable natural abortion, and because I would not let them do a D&C. And I am so thankful that I listened to the Lord in regards to that, because my spirit just felt that, no, this is not right. And I have a beautiful daughter that gave me a beautiful grandbaby that you get to see on my channel. So, and her name is Sierra, and my lovely son-in-law, John. And I love them very much, and with them having a beautiful marriage this summer, spring actually, I'm very happy in that regards. Yes, I've had some very upsetting 2 videos, and they still are having issues, and we're doing our best to take care of and help out as we can in regards to their issues. And I just ask that you keep them in your prayers, because they mean the world to me, as do my son that lives here, Stephen, who is a redhead like I am. Yes, this is colored, but I am a darker redhead, and technically he is a hair bit lighter than mine. Not by much, but he is a redhead, and I knew when I was carrying him he was a redhead, because he took my gallbladder out and everything else during my pregnancy. So I knew he was going to be a redhead. And I knew he was going to be a boy, because everything that I asked for, God gave me. And my oldest son, Francis, is my special child. Yes, he had severe dyslexia, but his IQ was super high, as I have said before. And he is 27 years old. My son Stephen is going to be 23 on December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. And my daughter is going to be 21, January 26th. So, yeah, I've got children that old. And my daughter kind of got upset at one point in time when we were out and we were getting something to eat at a bar restaurant. And because of her coming in at that point in time, she was having some cramps, and I told her a little bit of red wine might help that. Well, needless to say, it was a carding deal for her and not for me. And she kind of got upset over that, and I kind of thought it was kind of funny. So, or actually, I need to turn that around. They actually carded me because of the way I was dressed, and I looked younger because I dressed younger. I didn't dress my age. And my daughter was dressed as a pregnant woman, but not of age, I believe, the way they looked at it. So, yeah, they sat there and they carded me because I had to give my card, my ID to them. Actually, I had to have my daughter, because I was watching my grandbaby, run out and get my card, which is my ID, driver's license, and show that to them. But I wanted to tell you also, because this is kind of a info about me. I have been with my husband since October the 8th officially of 1984. We knew each other I knew him, but he didn't really know me very well, in his senior year of school. He just had seen me with one of his friends that he knew, but that was it. And I'd asked 2 weeks before he graduated, who is this guy standing in the cafeteria line? And my friend, Mr. Crawford, had told me who he was, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then he was working at Quality Market, and he had recognized me because I had had surgery. And I had had several surgeries prior to that, from the age of 13 up until he had met me. And he knew that I was a sophomore in school. And he wondered why I was out of school. And I told him that I had had surgery. And he's like, okay. And it was probably about 5 to 6 days later. My mom had wanted to go to Quality again. And I said, well, I want to get out because I needed to move around. And she told me what she needed. And it was just a few items, which was through the quick checkout, which was a snail checkout at that point in time. And he came over and he packed my bags in the quick checkout because he was a stalker and a bagger, and he went and did that. And the lady at the register, who was young, sat there and had said, how do I say sat there? He wasn't sitting, he was standing. Said that she said to him, aren't you supposed to check out? And he said, as soon as I bag her stuff up, because I need to speak to her for a moment, that I'd check out. And, with his time card and everything. And he went and he bagged up my stuff. And there was a bench near the doorway opening for people to sit down and rest and everything. So I walked over and he sat my bags down and he asked how I was doing and how I was feeling after my surgery. And I had told him that I was doing better because I needed to get out. And he sat there and he's like, oh, okay, that sounds really good. Would you mind if I come over to your place? He said, I'd like to talk to you. I didn't know him. Honestly, name-wise, I did not remember. And I'm like, yes, that was the immediate. Because one of my things that I said to myself is that I would never date anybody from my school that we dated during the time that we were in school. Because too much drama. You know, boyfriend-girlfriend breaks up, causes all these other issues in regards to, you know, somebody being upset with somebody. And I said I was never going to do that. And that was my thing. And I was one that, unfortunately, of course, back in my era, you could date older men and not have a problem so long as you had okay from your parents. And I always dated older men. And my husband is only 4 years older than me. Actually is the youngest next to one other person, which is very close to the same exact age as he is, that I actually dated, and actually ruined one of my friendships. And that's the reason why I said I would not date anybody from my school that was in school with me. And because he had graduated in 1984, there's 4 years between, roughly 3 3/4, something like that. I did the calculations. I think it's like 3 years and 10.5 months, roughly, or 10 3/4 months, 3/4 months, yeah, that we got. So I just say 4 months, but so doing that. Ooh, I think we have a hello spirit here. Maybe it's my dad saying hello, because my dad was not happy that I was going out with my husband. As I said, we started seeing each other in September when I'd had my surgery, and then officially made it October the 8th. And dated for exactly 4 years and 1 month that we were steady. And my father passed away in my arms in 1987 of October 17th. And of course my birthday is November 2nd, and we were planning on having an October 8th wedding from the date that we had started dating. And because my father was fighting cancer, which is one of my grounds that I stand firmly with no matter what. I know this is October and it's breast cancer awareness, but it's cancer awareness for me, period. For any kind of cancer. Because my father passing away from primary liver cancer, and not knowing that he had hemochromatosis, which is a abnormality of 2 genes in the body. One is a carrier gene, and the other one is actually a fully mutated disease gene, and it mainly is in males. 1 out of 100 male people walking on this earth have the carrier gene, and there is a higher rate, but not much higher. It's in the thousands, only thousands, that actually have the disease, especially in the male population. Well, I have the carrier gene, and I also have a partially mutated gene, which gives me the asymptomatic symptoms of what hemochromatosis would give, which is like fibromyalgia, that comes about, swelling of the liver, which I need to have phlebotomies done periodically, which is bloodletting in the old-fashioned term. If anybody's watching this, they will know what that is. So I have that done so that it keeps my swelling in my liver down, and it doesn't make my liver look like I have cirrhosis of the liver. So, when my father passed, that's what they had seen, but he wasn't an alcoholic. I mean, he might have a beer here and there, or, you know, a drink, but that was just very few, far between. He did not do that. He was a smoker, yes, but he had primary liver cancer. And because of that, my two boys have hemochromatosis, but my daughter does not. So as you see, hemochromatosis is a male disease that is primarily carried by them. And they can pass it on to their children if the woman has also the potential to be a carrier of the gene that is a carrier only. Doesn't have to be full-blown hemochromatosis, just a carrier of it. And then any boys that are born normally will have that hereditary, unfortunate disease. But it can be controlled because they found that there are ways to take care of it. And the easiest way is because it's what it is it's an iron buildup in the liver. It's too much iron, too much metal. And in turn, it can make the skin actually look orangish, coppery color, or even the eyes, especially when it affects the liver heavily. The eyes will have a yellowish tinge to them. So that is a big thing that I have. And my second thing that really had bothered me was bullying. And I was bullied in school, and I seen bullying. And I was kind of a loner and got along with everybody. And because I was kind of like the class clown, so everybody kind of, you know, thought I was funny, and I hung out, and I was a nerdo. Yes, I worked in the audiovisual technical portion of our school, so yes, back in the day, I used to be the one that rolled the cart with the TV and the VCR and hooked it all up so that they could sit there and watch in the classroom what they needed to do. So I kind of had free range in that aspect, and so did my husband when he was in school, and his brother did also, which is Aaron, or we call him Bud. And so he was there, and a lot of times I'd help him with schoolwork when we would be sitting in the audiovisual room during study hall. And so, I mean, because he was a year ahead of me. And so in regards to that, I was kind of, yes, the nerdo, but yet I got along with everybody, and I was very physically active, though. I loved volleyball. They wanted me to play volleyball, but because we only had one vehicle, my mom could not drive my dad to work because of the shift that he worked. He worked, one, a garage, and then two, he worked a farm, and three, his main job was working as a machinist. So, running all that, he couldn't, I mean, he could, but Mom didn't want to give the time to take and go pick him up, especially picking him up close to 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. And I can understand that. I mean, so my dad would drive home, and so I didn't get to do volleyball. I did do gymnastics and judo in school, which I mean, with volleyball, I mean, my gym teacher asked me one time to look at the bottom of my shoes and to see if I had springs on them, because I am just over 5 foot and I could spike a ball over the net, which was set at a legal length for height, to play volleyball, and I was very, very athletic. Matter of fact, the yearbooks, if anybody was to look me up, I was in the yearbook throughout the years, and only one time was I in first place against a girl named Amy. And the only reason why is because her legs were longer than mine, and because of sprinting and the long jump, she beat me in the presidential physical fitness. Other than that, I was very, very fit. And I got into bodybuilding. Yes, I did. I laid out, I tanned, I did all that stuff there. And I found that it was not a good thing afterwards. But the bodybuilding portion I did enjoy until I had to have, it was like my 4th or 5th surgery. And I had ovarian cyst, which, being told at 13 years of age that I had a 50-50 chance of getting pregnant and a 50-50 chance of ever carrying full term because of my issues. So I had 12 miscarriages. Yes, that sounds like a lot. And yes, it's hard to think about that. But I know they're in a better place. Especially because my second one, I knew what it was. And because my daughter's twin was a girl, identical, and everything closed up. And because I would not let them do a D&C, I have a beautiful daughter and grandbaby. So, even though she's had 2 miscarriages, so she is a lot like I am, and she's had ovarian cyst issues. But, I look at it as my 3 children are my biggest blessing, next to having God in my life and my husband in my life. So, saying that, one, I've been raised around farm animals all my life. I was 5, almost 6 years old, and had to help deliver because this heifer was a very young heifer that got bred accidentally, and the vet could not take care of the situation of the leg and the head being turned, and neither could my father. Even though my father was only 5'5", he had arms. I mean, he was stocky. He looks a lot like my son, so if you look at some of my videos, you will see that actually he looks identical to my son. But he, and they're both the same height, except for my son Francis is a little bit shorter. He doesn't want to admit it, but he's a little bit shorter than what my dad was. So, in regards to that, and my son's got a belly because of a back injury, so. Because he fell off a climbing tree stand and almost died on me. So, that was in 2009. That's another thing. But, he has fought since he was born. Because he weighed 3 pounds, 13.5 ounces. And he was 15 3/4 inches long. His chest was 12 inches. It was bigger than what his head was. But now he's got good size head. And I always laugh at him because when we have to go buy hats, it's large. Dad is a large kid to a small adult, and Steven is the same size I am, which is a small adult. So we kind of laugh about that. But we've been raised all of our lives with my husband working on a dairy farm and then a beef farm, and my dad having a dairy farm with the old milk containers. We had to, put the strainer in, dump the milk in with the filters, and they were in the great big containers, and then we put the lid on it, and these great big containers would be taken away, the milk that we had gotten. And then my dad he raised beef, so after that. So, and then he raised pigs. And I did get kicked by a cow one time when I was young, right in the middle of the chest, and took the wind out of me and threw me back through a wooden pen wall. And a pig, sow, had babies, and my dad was milking the cow, and at that point in time he jumps up to grab me because he was afraid that the sow was going to go after me because of her little baby piglets. And I've been raised, which he saved me from. I remember that. And we used to smoke our meat. My dad had a smokehouse building that he had up. And I'm just thinking back of the times that, like, today, we were taught, or yesterday, I should say now, my son Stephen was talking about how redheads normally can't grow a full beard. Well, he's got a full-on beard right now. And his brother, who's got dark auburn hair like mine was, can grow one. And he's like pulling off the young Duck Dynasty look. And kind of chuckled about it because, my husband can easily grow one. And my father used to be at noon, 1 o'clock. He didn't shave at that point in time, but he would have a 5 o'clock shadow. And by 5 o'clock, he could sit there, and I used to pick on him because I was a jokester, and my brother was a mama's boy, that I would lay across the couch, and I wouldn't let him sit there. I'm like, I'm resting. This is my couch. You can go sit somewhere else. And he would sit on me, and he would come over, and he would take his whiskers, and he would give me whisker hugs and kisses. Just taking his whiskers. And, oh my word, you want to talk about sore? It was like sandpaper. Seriously. So, yeah. My dad could grow a beard in 2.5 days. He would have a beard. It wouldn't be full blown, but he would have a beard where all skin was covered. So, my son Francis is the same way. And my son Stephen, who has hair just a little bit lighter than mine, as I said, has got a full-on beard. And his father has a salt and pepper beard. And we are now looking at changing our lifestyle because cancer runs in our family. My father-in-law has had bladder cancer several times, and they've had to go in and take polyps off. He has a pacemaker, and they had to do that before he could have this last cancer surgery. So, my two things are, and one of the things that I'm not very proud about was, and I've always been one to stand up for anybody that has been in regards to friends or people that I know when I was in school that got picked on and they got their books slapped out of their hand. I would stop and help them pick up their books and their schoolwork, whether I was late to my class or not. I did that. And I I had been harassed for some time because prior to me saying that I would not date anybody from my school, I dated twins. Yes, twins. Not at the same time, but twins. And the girl had gotten upset, and her best friend was there. And needless to say, I had gotten kicked in the rear end as I was walking up the steps and of the bus to get ready to go down to the next school that we need to pick up more kids. And I had had enough. I put the girl in the hospital. And I'm ashamed of that. Matter of fact, my parents thought she wasn't going to survive and thought that we were going to have a massive lawsuit. When she woke up, she sat there and said, I'm the one that started it, and everything was dropped. And to this day, we're still friends. And I look back, and I wished I hadn't done that, because back in that time, the football players were like NFL football players, not like today. Today, they're skinny, and they're not fit, or they're overweight and not healthy. And I look at the health of, people, but the biggest thing is it took 4 big football players to pull me off of her when I got her pinned and went down on the ground. And because I just got tunnel vision, and bullying is, and I was bullied, and it pushed me to a point that I retaliated. And back then, it was, yeah, you fight it out, and it's done and over with. But I put her in the hospital, and that wasn't something that was good. And then I had another young girl that stole stuff from me because I was doing photography and helping a teacher out by taking half the class, because I did photography before, and she was a substitute that she asked me if I'd take part of the class and help teach it while she was teaching others. And I said that I would. So I'd take a small group and go into the dark room and show them how to develop back then through using the chemicals in the trays and the proper lighting, red light, and using white light to expose the film to the paper, and rinsing it and making sure you use the tongs so that you don't get the chemicals on your hands. And she'd stolen some of my work along with one of my lenses that would fit a camera that she had. And in turn, I had literally grabbed her like this and picked her up and put her up against the bus. And because the bus driver that I was because I always used to ride one bus down to the middle school, and because we had a elementary, middle school, and high school at that point in time. Now we only have elementary, and then we have a junior, senior high school. I mean, we used to have at one point in time a kindergarten, elementary, middle school, and high school when I went to school. That's the way it went. So now we are into only 2 schools. But I look at it as, I thank God that the bus driver grabbed my hand when he did, because I had my hand drawn back and I had to hold her, and I picked her up, and she only weighed maybe 90 pounds soaking wet. And because I was a bodybuilder at that point in time, because I worked out in the gym with the guys, and the guys were my friends, that I was very, very fit until I started to have surgeries because of issues, female issues that I was having. And in turn, he grabbed a hold of me and threw me up on the bus and said, sit in that seat. And the principal came around the bus and asked if there was any problem. He said, nope, got everything taken care of. And the girl that I put in the hospital had went and talked to that girl and said, whatever you've taken from her, you need to put back immediately, because she's not somebody you want to mess with. And I did not want to have a reputation like that. Even though I looked behind me, and when I was confronted prior to being kicked in the rear, going up the bus steps, we back then called them jocks, heads, which were your pot smokers and stuff like that. They didn't do the hard drugs or anything like that. It was just because we were called, instead of maple wood, we were called maple weed. And then there was our geeks, and then there was basically the nobodies, the ones that just didn't really exist. And I was friends with all of them. And I looked behind me, and I had all these people behind me backing me up, when her and 10 other people following her were behind her. And she turned around and said, no, it's not going to be now. But then that's when she took the low blow, kicking me in the rear. And I had taken enough because she had been on me. And I'd been harassed for quite some time because of it. And I stepped out and I did something. But nowadays, people are taking it in a different form. They're grabbing a gun, they're grabbing a knife, they're doing something that is totally wrong. Where if they're having a problem, they need to go and talk to a counselor, a friend, a family member, and tell them, I'm having a problem. Along with, if you're not feeling good, and whether you're young or not, you need to say, I don't feel good, Mom, Dad, or husband, wife, and go to the doctor. Because, one, you can go to 2 different doctors. A doctor that can help you psychologically by talking to them or talking to your family for the fact that you're being bullied. And 2, if you're not feeling good health-wise and you're young or even older, you need to sit there and go to the doctor and say, doctor, please do some blood work. Find out what is making me the way I am. Because once you know that, then you can change, your diet in regards to if you have shown possibility of cancer. And 2, because you're being bullied, you've got people out there that will listen. I mean, social media is so mean lately and so rude. We need to step up and we need to say, this isn't going to happen any longer. So these are my two main things that I really look at. It's being bullied. I've been bullied lately in the last 1.5 years. And my husband has stood behind me along with my son. And I love them for it, along with my daughter and her husband. It's kind of hard because of the situation and where it's at, but I love them. My extended family, I love them with all my heart. God said to love thy neighbor as yourself. Well, my neighbors are my family. They might only live 6 miles, 7 miles away from me, but they're still my family. And I love them, and I want to have the awareness because I'm walking with And when I went to see a doctor, that I could, if conditions are right with me, turn into a leukemia patient, and I don't want that. I'm keeping a positive look out for things that are changing, and I pray and I ask that you pray for my children, especially my sons, because they have hemochromatosis. They have a greater chance of getting cancer. But with healthy changes in the body, which is something I am going to do. And I am starting a new program, which I'm going to be doing a water mineral diet, along with cleansing my pores and cleaning my body out. Dr. Robert Kasser, I really enjoy his videos. He has really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and because some things have come about that I've seen, and saying that, I've got to actually talk to my doctor about it. And I mean, we carry parasites on us all the time, and fungus. You know, we carry staph infection on our skin. So if we have surgery, that's the reason why I have some of these dark spots. Because when I had surgery, I got staph infection. And these are not dark spots from aging. These are staph infection marks on me. And I need to change my diet. And I had lost a lot of weight when I had the mesh taken out of me, because I had a bladder mesh put in me, which caused issues. And then I had gastric bypass in 2002, and in turn I had lost so much weight and looked like I was walking dead that the doctor who was the founder of gastric bypass had given me a protein drink. It was a prescription type drink, and it made me gain like 67 pounds in 2 weeks. He told me to take it for 4 weeks. And I gained so much weight that I didn't want to gain anymore, because I went through this surgery. And I gained 27 pounds roughly after that. And then I kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. And now, having the mesh taken out and my bladder taken care of, because I had enough scar tissue that it made its own sling, which is good. My body took care of itself, so I don't have to have anything foreign in me. I have enough foreign stuff in me that I don't need that. And in turn, I went through all of that and having my back broke 3 times over. And yeah, I did. In 1991, I broke my back on December 23rd, just prior to Christmas. Broke my back. And my son Stephen was just a little tot. I mean, a little tot, because he was born December 7th of 1993. So, yeah, he was a baby. And I had to breastfeed him, and so my husband had to do a lot of work in picking him up because I was in a brace, and there was a lot of things that went on. But then I was in an auto accident, and then I slip and fall, and my bones have become brittle. So now I am looking at building myself back up, because these are things that can bring you down, and I don't want to be brought down. I want to be brought up. I want to bring my chi back into where it's supposed to be, and I want to be in balance. So what I need to do is I need to get healthy because I had a knee replacement and I broke my ankle. It's kind of like my son had a titanium rod put in his leg when he broke his back when he fell. He broke his leg. So he's gone through quite a few things. Along with, he's had many surgeries. He's had 8 surgeries and I've had 27 surgeries. So all these things are impact, and I want to be a healthier, better wife and mother and grandmother to my children. So I don't want to have the bullying, which my temper has calmed down a lot from where I was at. I used to have a very hot head, just like this red hair. Yep, it followed. And I don't want to sit there and have to deal with cancer. My father died in my arms when I was 18 years old, just shy of my 19th birthday. Literally in my arms when I crawled up on the bed. And I held him and told him it's time for him to go. Along with my grandfather, who had dementia. And he would only eat for me. So, looking at everything and seeing what my father-in-law is going through, I don't want him to pass right now. Even though he's in his 80s. He's a good man. I don't want to see my mother-in-law, my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-law, anybody go through that. I don't want to see any bullying going on. And we need to work through that so that there's no bullying. So those are 2 things I am standing strong with. So this is my video to sit there and show that I don't want no bullying. Anybody. Social media, face-to-face, anything like that. Because this day and age, people are taking it too far. And to look and care and pray for cancer patients and to help them find better ways than putting toxic chemicals in our body to sit there and fight cancer. There are things out there that can heal cancer and can heal the body if the government would allow us to do it. So, saying that, I'm going to sit there and say bye, but I want to give you a little bit about me and my standings, because I want to do a big giveaway if you will help me get to 100 subscribers. And I'm asking that you do shout outs and share this video. I love you guys with all of my heart. And I want to say peace to all. That's the reason why I say peace out. And I want you to keep it rocking for the Lord. Because God is our basis, or whatever belief and spiritual standings you have. To stand there and believe in that. Okay? I'm not judgmental. I love you all. You all are my friends and family. And I thank you for your time. God bless you. Saying bye now. Love you.